Morning, Writer Rebels. Today we're going on a road trip. All right, so we are going to head out to a coffee shop today to get some writing done. I'm really excited about that. I have not actually gone out to write since before the world got sick a couple of years ago. So I'm really excited about that. I've had one time where I got a chance to go in and I just kind of got some social media done, but I've never actually got any like real writing done at a coffee shop in quite a while. And I know it seems really cliche to, write in a coffee shop. That's just the thing writers do, but it really does a lot for me and it really helps my productivity. So when I'm going on a trip like this, what do I pack? I'm not a heavy packer. I know a lot of people bring a lot of tools and all that kind of stuff. So for me personally, I will have my laptop, obviously, because that's what I need to write with. I'm going to have my notes. These are just some of the scene notes that I had put together over the last little bit. So these are the scenes that I'm kind of working on right now. So I wanted to have these accessible. Otherwise, I'll probably just get frustrated and then be like, oh, I'll do it later, which is not what I want to do today. I have a notebook because at the end of the day, if I am struggling with something, I always go back to my notebook. Some people say in ballet to go back to the bar. Some people say find your center. And for me, it is handwriting. It takes so much more time to handwrite. My first novel that I ever finished, Wicked Descent, I actually hand wrote the whole thing and then had to type it out and then hand did all of my editing personally. And there was a lot of editing that I needed to do. I had to cut like pages and pages. I think it was like I had to cut 25 or 30 pages out of the first 100 as part of my like edit letter from my editor. So that was a lot of work. And then I had to retype it back in. It almost took me an entire week between working to type that back in. So I'm trying to get better about staying in my laptop when I'm writing, but sometimes you just need to handwrite. Sometimes it just makes things so much easier. Plus, I do want to go back to some of the plotting things to make sure that they're in the right place. So I have my handy dandy notebook for that. The other thing that I usually bring is just my little note case. So this one says, live the life you love. That's what it says, right? Yeah. Live the life you love. And it's just really cute little case I got from Chapters Indigo. And in here, it's very simple. I have a couple of my favorite pens. So the Sharpie S Gel pen is like one of my absolute favorites right now. I use it all the time. And then an absolute classic that I almost typically always have in my bag is a Pentel Energel. These are just so smooth and I just love them to pieces. And then I just brought a few of my mild liners. These are just great to punch things up, or if I want to, do it a little bit or add some color, or just call out something in my notes that I want to look at later. This is my favorite type of Post-it, the lined Post-its like this, because I can usually put like lists, but it's enough room to actually get some information on here. So these, I know I've talked a lot about micro-plotting sometimes. So this is what I will usually use to put a scene together and just kind of like put down those point form notes of what the scene's going to be. And then it doesn't kind of mess up my notebooks and I can just chuck it away when I'm done. This works really, really well for dictating too, because it's sticky. I can like stick it on the wall or my computer screen or whatever. And as I'm dictating, I can go through it. And I have been doing a little bit more dictating lately. So even if I'm not doing as much writing, I might sit there and plot out my next, 3 to 5 to 10 scenes. So that way I can try and do some dictation when I get home or later this week. And the last thing that I have in here is usually just a straight little sticky note. It doesn't really matter what size, but something a little bit smaller. And this is just for in my notebook or something like that. If I need to call something out, or if I have just a thought. There's a lot of times where I'm writing and then it's like, oh my God, did I remember to do this? Or this changed. I need to remember back in chapter 2 that his hair is a certain way, or that I need to incorporate this plot point back there. So these are the types of things that I will do and put them on my notebook, and then I can get rid of them. I like the Post-it notes because I can just get rid of it when it's done and dealt with, instead of it sitting in my notebook and just kind of festering and then me crossing it out and moving forward. I know a lot of people kind of use their notebooks as kind of a stream of consciousness of everything that they have and they just keep moving forward. But for me, I typically don't. If I have thoughts that I can deal with and move on, I either put them on Post-its or a separate slip of paper that I can just get rid of when it's done. I do recycle though. But off we go. Time to go to the coffee shop. Okay, so I'd kind of hoped we could like maybe sit outside today, but it is crazy windy and it looks like they don't even have their umbrellas up. So looks like we'll be going in.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better.
And I definitely forgot about one key thing, and that is my headphones. I usually have a pair that's great for my computer, as well as some that are attached to my phone. So A, I can talk to you like this. And also, if I want to run timers or something on my phone, I'm not going to annoy the other patrons. So right now it's not very busy in here. There's only a couple of people, but if I was here and it was really, really busy, I wouldn't want my alarm going off every 20 minutes and everybody just kind of like, what's going on? So that is definitely one other thing that I always pack for when I go coffee shop writing.
The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
So I've always been super productive when I go for coffee shop things. It was actually really how I got started as an author. When I was working full time, it was really hard for me to find time to write, especially since I had very small children and writing at home was busy, and I was working in a very demanding career. Like if you come through that, it was called the CA back in the day, CPA route. It's very busy when you first start out and you work a lot of hours, and it's just very demanding. So this was something that kind of gave me a break. I worked downtown, and in Winnipeg, I worked on the windiest corner. It's either in the windiest corner in Canada or the windiest corner in North America. So you can imagine in the wintertime when in a town where the nickname is Winnipeg, it gets quite cold. But they do have this underground mall that has a Starbucks, and now they actually have 3 Starbucks underneath there. But there used to be a specific one that I used to go to every lunch break. I would eat my lunch at my computer while I was actively doing work, and then I would go down at lunchtime. And so I'd get about 45 minutes of writing by the time I like walked there and, ordered my drink and sat down. And I went there so often, like the baristas knew my order every single time. I often didn't order. There was 2 things I always got every single time, and they would just give me one of those and I would just totally run with it. Except for there was a period of time where they had this like dark cherry mocha, which was just absolutely amazing. And I wish they would bring that back. It was so good. Anyway, so I would sit there for about 45 minutes and I would either bring my computer or just my notebook, and I would just write for that entire time. And I could watch other people and like just kind of absorb that in, and it was almost white noise to me being so busy. It was super busy, and like all of downtown pretty much walked past me, and I would just be engaged in my story, and I would just write, and I got so much done in those 45-minute periods than I ever did like for hours and hours and stuff at home later on, because I wasn't as distracted. Unfortunately, as time has gone on, I haven't been working downtown. There hasn't quite been the coffee shop there that I have been able to use for like about the last 5 years. And I'm now working remote. So I have a very different day than I used to have when I was being able to remove myself from my office and then go to that coffee shop and do that writing. There's a lot of people out there who talk about a writing routine, like lighting a candle or telling yourself it's time to write. For me, it was getting out of my desk, going to that coffee shop, getting my little table in the corner, and ordering that drink. And it did get kind of expensive, so I did pare down to like tall, steep tea kind of stuff just to keep the cost down. But I knew for a fact that this was something that was productive for me. And if I did nothing else, then it was definitely going to be worth it. So over the years, I have gotten away from being able to write in coffee shops. And yeah, it does seem really cliche, but it does work if you just need to remove yourself from your day-to-day life, your day-to-day grind, and all of those obligations that you have. And it doesn't have to be a coffee shop. Another great place I absolutely love to write is the Selkirk Library. It's about 15-20 minutes away from my house, and they just built a brand new library. It's beautiful. There's tons of sunlight, and there's some really cool desks right in the YA section that I love, so I can always reference other books if I need to. I haven't been there in a while because they've been closed down a lot for the pandemic, but I'm hoping over the summer that I will be able to do some more writes in there, so we'll be able to maybe take you along with me to that library because it is absolutely beautiful, and you can see some of the other spaces that I like to write in. That was a really good one, and way cheaper because I don't have to buy myself a coffee. So yeah, I'm gonna get some more writing done.
all growing.
One little hack for coffee shop writing too, or if you're writing in a library or outside or anywhere, is if you take 5 minutes to take either some pictures or some video. If you do social media, it can save you a lot of time. So just taking a picture of your computer and your coffee, or just your setup on a library desk or something like that, or a nice view behind your computer or your notebook, these can definitely help you later on when you're trying to do your social media. You don't have to use it for a particular reason. You don't even have to think about why you're doing it for right now. But when you're in a pinch and you need a post, then this is something that you can easily just pull off your camera roll, put up, talk about maybe what you were working on, maybe throw a line from your in progress, anything like that. And that can definitely save you when you are getting busy. If you are a TikTok person or like video, you can obviously just film some video, film some of you typing, or film, what you're looking at, or the coffee shop or whatever. And then you can use that as a backdrop for, quotes from your book or something like that, or talking about your writing process. So those can definitely be helpful, and they take like 5 minutes to do, and you don't even have to think about it till later, until you absolutely need something.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.
Hey, so I figured I'd do the wrap up here. It's a little bit quieter than in the Starbucks, but I got just over 2,000 words in about 2.5 hours, which is great. I know some people will do a lot more than that, but there's a lot of full-time authors out there with all their marketing and what they do that only do 2,000 to 3,000 words a day anyways. So that is a significant win for me. And the nice thing about being in a coffee shop like that is it kind of brings that joy back. It brings that routine, that process I used to have when I was just writing for the joy of writing, not really knowing where anything was going. So as much as I still enjoy writing and as much as I love it, otherwise I would quit because I have another job. So it's just this thing about the joy of writing. And sometimes you get to lose that a little bit when you are writing for publication or writing for money and trying to, get things out, that you just kind of forget what it was like to just fall into a story and stay there. So hopefully you have rituals or places or things that bring you joy and bring you the happiness of the writing process, and that you can get back to from time to time when you're starting to lose that feeling. But for now, I'm going to take that as a win. We're going to get some more writing done in May. And if you liked this video, let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up below this video so I know that you liked it, and let YouTube know it's something worth watching. And if you wanted to subscribe, you can absolutely do that too. Hit the red subscription bar and the notification bell below this video, and they'll let you know every time I put out new content. Or if you want to go on another road trip with me, you're not going to want to miss that. However, speaking of subscribers, I did want to mention that I do have the community tab now, because we are over 500 subscribers. I know that's not a huge account, but that is massive for me. I started out with nothing. I did not advertise this to my friends and family. My mom is not a subscriber, none of that sort of stuff. So it's 500 people out there who actually want to see my content or feel sorry for me or whatever their reasons happen to be. And I'm pretty proud of that accomplishment. It's taken a while, but I've gotten there, and our community just keeps getting bigger and stronger all the time. So I want to celebrate that, getting the community tab and having those 500 subscribers. And I'm going to do a Q&A session. So if you take a look at the community tab, you will see that there is a place to put in your questions if you have any questions for me, and then I will film a Q&A video coming up, or maybe I'll do it as a live stream. I haven't quite decided yet, and we'll see how many questions I get and what that kind of looks like. I am going to put it over on Instagram as well, because I know there's a few Instagram followers that do follow me on YouTube, so that's going to make sure that I catch everybody who has a question that they might want to ask, and then I will have this video up for you probably in June. So thank you so much to all of my subscribers out there. If you're not a subscriber and you want to join the party, make sure you're hitting that subscription bar and the notification bell. Otherwise, I will see you all in my next video.